Hello everyone, my name is David. Thank you for watching today. Making another video about borderline personality disorder. Wanted to talk about some of the problems they have with their identity, why they have a real poor sense of self, okay? And I hope that this explains some of their behaviors and stuff, because the best way to feel better about, some of the abuse you might have endured is to clearly understand what's going on, to understand them, how they're feeling and stuff. So I'm just want to touch on some stuff that should explain why they have problems with their identity. Okay? So first of all, borderlines are the traumatized victim. They have most likely endured lots of trauma in their childhood, started early. And one way that children often will deal with things that they're afraid of and scared and trauma and abuse is dissociating. It's escaping in your own mind. It's a safe, good defense mechanism that works for all of us. Most likely all of us have done it sometime in our life. It's not bad on its own. It's a good, safe defense mechanism to things that we can't handle. But it can cause problems when someone dissociates too much, or the biggest problem is not learning how to deal with that fear, with that danger. So it's not learning, because just escaping in your mind doesn't keep you or take you away from that danger, does it? So the problem with the borderline is they never heal. They never have healed from this. It's unhealed trauma. The borderline is the unhealed, traumatized victim. So how do they react to life's changes? How do they react in the relationship with you? Reckless, impulsive, unstable, right? Like they're in pain. Back to their childhood, they dissociate, right? They dissociate in their childhood. So that's kind of how they deal with things that are too much to handle. They run away. They abandon. Escape to, they'll escape and they'll numb by self-harming, maybe through sex, addictions, drugs and alcohol, eating disorders, and they have major fantasy thinking. They fantasize a lot. So escaping the present, sometimes they'll do this by fixating on the past, live in the past. They'll talk about their past all the time, the focus on things that were traumatic, painful, bad experiences. Those are the big ones. I have something here written by a clinical psychologist, Stephen C. Hayes, and I thought this is pretty neat, so I'm just going to read it to you. He says, almost all people suffer some form of intense inner pain at some times in their lives. The suffering might be depression, anxiety, substance abuse, or suicidal thoughts. And it results from the battles we wage against our thoughts as we futilely try to get rid of our history. I think that really explains some of the borderline, at least, some of their behavior, what they're doing. Lying can be a major part of borderline's life. Compulsive, pathological lying. Lying, you wonder why they lied sometimes, didn't even need to. Can you trust anything they say? You don't know, right? They're always building a narrative, and that narrative is the victim, right? Remember, they're the unhealed victim, so they're still, in their mind, a victim. At least they react as such. I hurt, and it's someone's fault. Okay, that's the victim. I hurt, and it's someone's fault. Lying protects shame. Trauma equals shame. Trauma is, I don't know what happened, so that usually means they think they're a bad person. Lots and lots of shame. The unhealed victim doesn't understand. Shame is not understanding. And they don't understand. They're not healed. They're still traumatized. They're still the victim. See? So this lying begins in childhood. Parents taught them. Parents teach lying. I'm not saying they sit you down and put some paper and teach you how to lie. the lying works. Fake crying is a good one. That stuff can start very early, just a few years old. They'll realize I get, the parents jump and give me what I want when I cry. Maybe that baby is neglected sometimes, and so it learns to cry, get what it wants, or lie and blame my sibling, things like this. And it works. It works. No accountability for their actions. The parents taught them. Living outside of reality ensures never being tested. It's safe. It's delusional. It's delusional. And often associated with delusional is paranoia. Delusional disorder used to be called paranoid disorder. Think about serial daters. I talk about serial daters a lot. Think about somebody who invests in everything they have into one person and have all these future plans, and then it's bad for them too, whatever, and it's over quickly, and they go right on to the next person, invest again. Oh, this is number one, get to know them, they get to know you, and over, right to the next one, right to the next one, right to the next one. See, components of an identity, of forming an identity, are sense of continuity over time. Emotional commitment to representation of self. Role relationships. Core values and standards. Development of a meaningful world view. Recognition of one's place in the world. You cannot form an identity if that's what you need. You cannot form an identity if you would dissociate and escape reality, take drugs, daydream, fantasize, lie about everything you've done and start believing it. Go from one relationship at a time, just over and over and over again. This can and will cause negative affect. And negative affect have things like anger, contempt, disgust, guilt, fear, nervousness. I got this off of Wikipedia. People who express high negative affectivity view themselves and a variety of aspects of the world around them in generally negative terms. So this all causes a feedback loop, a cycle. Total lack of awareness. It's always your fault. I didn't do anything. Need to feel better. Go right on to something else. Impulsivity. So they ask, what do I identify with? Victim. It becomes who they are. Their personality. Doesn't it? Borderline personality disorder. I hope that helps. I made this video because I had a few people ask me about different aspects that I just covered about borderline. So I just kind of put it all in a video together. And I hope that it helps those few people who asked. But I hope everyone else got something out of this. Any questions you have or you want to add more stuff, please go down below and do so. Add anything you want. Ask me anything you want. I'll answer your questions, okay? Thank you. Hope that helps. Love yourself first, and I'll see you again later. Bye-bye.